named since the 90s by the Rashid Karami International Fair. Originally, it's the permanent international fair of Lebanon in Trípoli. And in 1962, Oscar Niemeyer was nominated by the Lebanese government to commission directly without any competition to design this mega project in Trípoli. And it was a huge surprise for locally and internationally, because the design was a sort of futuristic idea at scale of the same concept what happened earlier in Brasilia and in Sao Paulo and in Rio. And at that time, Niemeyer was awarded by the first medal, golden medal, by the Lebanese president of the Lebanese Republic as a sort of a thankful act from the Lebanese government. It wasn't only to hand Niemeyer his fees as a consultant. He was so much appreciated for this surprising design. Immediately in front of the entrance, once we are inside the fairground, this is the grand cover. It's a grand portico where it was supposed to host underneath the international pavilions of the participating countries. It's 700 linear meter with a 70-meter depth, 7-meter clear height underneath, and it was just a canopy where the building of the pavilion will be in certain order, built underneath. Every country will build its own design and its own pavilion. Despite of many rumors claiming that Niemeyer had some issues with including this project within his list of works, the proof said that in the early 70s, when he was in exile in Paris, he sent a letter to the Lebanese government, which I have a copy, a handwritten letter in Portuguese. The translation said that he was asking the Lebanese government to push further on speed up the execution and make this project functioning, because it is one among the most dearest projects to his heart. To have this floating, look at the other part which is left authentic, this floating impression, like a huge plate covering the pavilion. At the spring of 1975, in the early 1975, it was planned to start thinking about the first exhibition, the first international exhibition. In a very critical time, the civil war started in April 1975. So it was like the night of the wedding. At the night of the wedding, the catastrophe happened, and immediately the fair was subject to malicious occupation, vandalism, sabotage, which started since 1975 until 1998. Or the typical house designed by Niemeyer in 1962. It's a fantastic inspiration from his own house built in Rio. The Casa das Canoas, built in 1953, and he designed this one in summer 1962. Cultural oasis, there is two theaters, an indoor theater at the Dome, the experimental theater, and this one, which is the open air theater with the 1,280 seats, an independent platform for the theater podium, and it's all surrounded with reflective pools. This is the soffit of the open air theater. We have witnessed in December 2016 a partial collapse of the ceiling, the concrete ceiling. That was an alerting message from the monument. All the monuments of the fair made of fair face concrete since 1960s require an emergency intervention to consolidate and to restore the concrete. Otherwise, we are losing gradually these buildings. And especially in the light of the recent nomination as a tentative cultural heritage in September 2018 by the Unesco. And a month ago, we have submitted the final dossier for the final nomination under the title of emergency to be adopted by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage. And I hope this will happen sometime this year. There is a colony of bats underneath. The first idea was to have a hydraulic system to go down, prepare the scene, and goes up. The backstage in the basement.